Good morning, all. It's an absolute pleasure to have you all here after a long journey of 20 years plus. Mr. Rauf, thank you so much for embracing this opportunity with a very short notice as our chief guest. Distinguished guests, Mr. Pushpasri, Onali, Ken, Sajid, Prasad, Paddy, amazing characters, Hasanti, we see here, Chandima, Sakuntala, Inoka, Mifaz. We have Hasid from Avery, Trimuthi from Ideal, Zaitun from WSO2, Erosha from LOLC. Amazing set of people. The panelists, thank you so much for being with us in a short notice. Ashan Ransilige, Inoka from Wochuza, Surani, longtime friend, and Ain, of course, a longtime friend from MAS as well. And of course, we have the entire coming up generation of assistant managers out there. Thank you so much for attending. And of course, the heartfelt sponsors, thank you so much for being part of this journey. So we are here today to celebrate a 20-year journey, a milestone of CAREER141, which actually was a cause rather than a business, if I can put it. Up to date, ladies and gentlemen, it has been a cause. I was just speaking to Rauf as well this morning. What drives CAREER141 is the cause. From day one, with my brilliant team, the employees of CAREER141, we have always seen the opportunities that has been given to us from the corporate world as a worry of the corporate world, or even, for that matter, an individual who comes as a candidate. For example, we see it as a worry. We don't call it as a job order. We don't call it as a job order. So that concept of taking a concern of a company or a concern of an individual to a next level of aspiration is where CAREER141, I believe, made a difference. So it has been a dream come true. And of course, what more than a place which is called City of Dreams to celebrate this. Yeah. So I'm very fortunate to have all of you all. And this occasion, apart from we being traveling for 20 years and achieving a milestone of 100K plus audience in LinkedIn, which is a combination of Sri Lankan talent as well as international talent. All right? It has been a milestone, but having said that, we also want to create this forum to break a small barrier between the headhunting society and the corporate world. Coming into a headhunting event, a headhunters event, compared to going to a L&D forum or a HR forum is different, This business has been flourishing. We actually started this business as a cause, as I told you, back in my bedroom, right? And just to give you a small glimpse, everybody asks me, why 141? Why 141? And some think it's like 141. It is so also. But we did resume designing for about 3 years. When we do resume designing, I usually meet an individual about 3 to 4 times in a hotel, not over the phone. I'm talking about 20 plus years back, right? Where we did not have LinkedIn to support, no top jobs, nothing. Placing an individual like, Mr. X would be, I know Mr. X is there sitting in that company. To get his contact, it's not easy. Even if it was the peon who I have contact with, through him, I have to headhunt that person. That's how raw it was. That's how raw it was. It's about pure, authentic, organic, sort of headhunting. So, but having said that, what made me give the confidence to do that headhunting, even up to date, would be the foundation that set me when I was doing resume designing. But when we meet an individual for 3 times, he or she opens up so much, not only about their profession. So when we talk about a CV, my CVs were CVs which ignited the person so much, he just goes, gets a call and says, Azeem, look, I've got a call, and now they are asking me what time I could come for the interview. The CV was so good. Confused. The difference was, we took out all the responsibilities out, and we put only the achievements in. That's all you want to know at senior level, right? I mean, what have you delivered in your previous, maybe in dollars, in rupees, in volumes, in process? What have you done? Because in an interview, you don't get the time to express everything also. So if you have put it on the CV, they would pick and ask, how did you do this? What did you do this? What was the stuff and all this? So you get the chance to sort of express more, right? So the CVs were so good, and my insight started building up so much within a period of 3 years, which gave me the confidence to actually recommend individuals to company. So I guess, when you're even having a restaurant, and if you are the cook and if you are the chairman, you know in and out about everything. So the recommendations were so good, the placements were solid, and it was seamlessly happening at, the era of that time. Until to date, we are very proud to say that we are doing the same from Africa to Middle East to many Asian countries, right up to Fiji, placing international individuals to international companies in international landscape. Once again, I would like to tell, this is a cause, this is not a business. From the time that I designed a resume up to date, my whole ambition is to get Sri Lanka somewhere. This is the honest truth. This is the honest truth. Most of you all here, I would know probably from a manager or assistant manager time, because it's 20 years back, right? Most of you all are directors today. Ken, I know very well. I think we would have been, in Brandix, good old days, yeah? So many of you, even Ayn for that matter, many of you all. And today you all are directors, and those who are in the tables, they are in the back. Tomorrow are going to be in the front, right? But here is the story. Are we recognized enough internationally? Guys, listen, everybody has career aspirations. But we also need to understand that our aspiration and the talent that we could give to the market can be much more compensated also. I'm not saying everybody should go overseas, but still, do we have an avenue to go? Do we have a pathway to go? If you take, for example, an Indian or a Singaporean or some other country, they would have branches in Dubai, in various other countries where you could seamlessly go and connect and see, what can I do in marketing? How can I excel my career in marketing? How can I excel myself in HR? I was telling Rauf, he's more insightful than a Sri Lankan about Sri Lanka, right? Super insightful personality. I just met him once. I would want to relate a whole half a day about him separately, but yeah. So what I'm saying is the Sri Lankan talent that I've seen is amazing. Just hear it from me. You guys are just amazing. We have a culture which is very soft, which is very adhering. Right? Many of you all I know who have worked overseas, I don't think they would let you go if you want to come back. You come back on your own excuses. I know that very well. Everywhere Sri Lankan is placed, I've seen the chairman or the director board wanting more Sri Lankans. This is the truth. But why aren't we sort of recognized? The reason is we haven't got the platform very firm in an energetic manner. For example, the apparel sector. Thanks to Mr. Mahesh Amalin, Ashraf Amar, today we are high flying in apparel. High flying. I would say it's a cause, it's an aspiration, right? Today, if the executive search industry doesn't take a bold step And if the corporates don't connect with the executive search, if they keep executive search at a distance, I don't think we can make a difference in Sri Lanka. Because executive search for 7 days, why I say 7 days we work, Bangladesh opens as a Monday on Sunday, right? So various other regions work on Fridays, Saturdays, so we are like 7 days operating. We know, the market as to, how valuable our asset is. We need to set block. For example, if you see in Singapore, Malaysia, Dubai and all, at least about 5-6 job fairs are there. In these job fairs, we are not going to give jobs to everybody. But we are going to set a platform where, INSEE can be met, Dialogue can be met, ENY could be met, WSO2 can be met, BOWERS can be met, MIDAS could be met. And just, have a connection going. I remember way back, about 20 years back, there was an exhibition called Infotel. I don't know whether any of you all could recall. Amazing. That was when the internet had this broadband connection with noise, boom, 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 and all that. It's like a 𝐋𝐞𝐚𝐝 start karna hua hai. But at that point, all the companies were competing for a platinum stall, a gold stall. It was very amazing. Same in job fairs. When you go, you will see in those countries, like in Dubai, some stalls are like 2-story, and you will have the sofas in both sides up and down. Some stalls, the water runs under. They just compete. They just compete. MAS is so huge, but where is the job fair where people can come and, marry into MAS? Our city is doing well. Where is the, individual? I went to Job Street, a job fair in Singapore a couple of weeks back. Healthcare is a huge business. What I want to do through this particular Talent Connect is to invite all of you all to very closely work with us heart to heart and see what we could do to the Sri Lankan community. Of course, many of my colleagues who are like veterans are pushing me to say, let's start something on transformation. We can give so much, which is true. I said, look, I am yet to plant one seed, executive search, very firmly. Because I know, Pushpasri works with me very closely, wanting, some of his key roles fulfilled. Yet, we are struggling. He's also wanting, we are also struggling. So we need to build that platform. We could, why we are in Sri Lanka, which is a small country, but yet Colombo is our main hub. We could. But I think all of us are in distant. So for example, in future, hopefully we can meet together on a corporate note. I was speaking to Inoka and, others also the other day. Let's have some agendas set up. We need to help Candy. We need to help 𝐷𝐲. There are some super talent out there. How do we create this platform? My ambition is to have a hub in Colombo, huge one, where a management trainee from Jaffna or 𝐷𝐲 or Colombo or a CEO or a director could walk in and seamlessly connect. Or a corporate for that matter, or a startup could come in and understand how they could fulfill their talent dearth. On the other hand, one of my biggest goals is how can I collect the Sri Lankan best talent out there to the international world. Now this is not something that I could do alone. So the whole intention of this Talent Suite Colombo 2025 is about breaking the barriers and making the executive search a cause. Let's keep it as a cause, everyone. If I'm wrong with the terminology, please do correct me. As a cause towards our fulfillment, the current generation who is sitting here, as well as the future generation that could benefit. This is very evident when you all go overseas if you see. It's flourishing the country, right? So CAREER141, just to sum up, we have not only traveled with a cause behind, we also ensured that we invested on LinkedIn for the past 2 years, quite a lot of investment onto LinkedIn from CAREER141. I think that is where we, Rauf was asking, who is your competition? So I was like, competition is there, yes, but I think it's my cause that I am behind, which is driving me to invest on various norms. It's quite a large amount that we do invest on LinkedIn, but the return that I get from LinkedIn, not the monetary return, I'm talking about being into the LinkedIn community, working very closely with India, working very closely with Singapore, Those offices are like amazing. You got everything except for a swimming pool. Every facility, and nobody is to ask if you're going yoga, somebody will just go yoga, do yoga, come. But delivery is done. But the best part with all that facility, they are empathetically consultative. You just walk into any LinkedIn office or any conference, you would see them hand-holding on all your requirement, although they are at up class in everything. So what we learned through that community is not only technology. I don't want to position LinkedIn as a technology-driven company. Yes, it is, without any doubt. So we are with the best train. I mean, within 2 years, we achieved a lot, although the investment is high. And that is because of you all. My intention is not Azeem, it's CAREER141 as a brand name. We need to see through all of your requirements, individually as well as corporate. So this ambition is where we are driving ourselves, and this is a thank you note to all of y'all who has been allowing us to be part of your individual success story as well as your corporate success story. So I hope and pray, I don't want to take long because this is a very small gathering and a small time period, but I hope I've heartfeltly expressed what I should express. On another note, all who wants to have an overseas journey, to have a career, please do have your overseas journeys because it's mind-blowing. What could happen to you with an overseas experience is way different from what could happen here because there the culture is totally dominant with a different society. You going in there and proving your leadership skills creates a different atmosphere and also allows you to bring that back here and inject it back into Sri Lanka. I've seen that happen. Asharan Silige, was in Fiji for quite some time. And then, he was put into handle many regions after that. He did really well, and HR turned CEO today, as you can see. It has changed the whole paradigm. Pushpasiri here is also an extraordinary character who has worked in many countries, and so many of you all, including Prasad. I mean, without these individuals going outside, we wouldn't get the insight that we want also. It helps. And individuals like Rauf being here, imagine, I just went with him one day, I should say this. He just invited me around 5:30 and kept me seated, and my international marketing manager as well. At 5:30, he gave us a 45-minute presentation. How humble it was, and how insightful it was to show the cause of bowers, the uprooting of bowers, all that. And no doubt people are existing for 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. Hats off to you, Rauf. I mean, just amazing that day was. If I had not met you, I wouldn't have seen that insight. Just imagine, I can just imagine how heartfelt your employees are. I'm sure Ken could relate much better to that. I can give you a separate forum on that. So, that's just insight. In LinkedIn also, when I walked in, I saw individuals who are youngsters, youngsters who are there for 10 years, 15 years, very happily working. So culture matters. Culture matters. Also, how do we create this culture with the new generation? But here's the thing, we are in a super country where culture is at the heart of us. It's inbuilt in us, our culture. Mother, father, relatives, all of that. In the Western countries, you wouldn't find that. They are out when they are teen and they're gone. I heard recently somebody was touring for almost 15 years alone, So where is his family? But we have a culture inbuilt. But how do we inculcate that into the corporate world also seamlessly without being mesmerized with a culture which absolutely is, I would say, not adding value to the life. Rather, with the culture, with the family, definitely adds value. We have that, but we need to, think, how could we embed this? But it's not an easy task also. Yeah. So hopefully, I'm there for any tag-along from here on in different forms. I would like to come and meet you all any given time as to how we could tag along and do something within our tenure to Sri Lanka. I'm not talking about corporate placements. I'm talking about Sri Lanka. This is a must. Everyone should realize that. Everyone should take it as a cause. And we should contribute at least 3 months to something in a year for a cause. Everybody. Yeah. Even for example, Amante, came as our platinum sponsor. Amazing product. I mean, who would deny? I would love to definitely take a voucher and go off Amante. Hats off to you, Paddy. I mean, following you through how you brought Amante up. I mean, he is a landmark. He was in MAS after Reliance taking up. He's made a huge landmark in India, but he's not willing to say his team, the Sri Lankans, made a big difference. Is it number one now? No, in India, number one in Sri Lanka and India. Hats off to the Sri Lankan crowd. We need to give a round of applause. Number one in Sri Lanka and India, Amante. Hats off. And he's my candidate as well as a client also. Once upon a time in his early career. I'm talking about 10, 15 years back. I took him to Bangladesh. I've taken many individuals overseas. The individuals who spent Saturday, Sundays with their parents and corporate every 5-year change a job. But I've taken them, pushed them to go to Vietnam, they are very thankful. Very thankful. I'm talking about disciplined characters, not the desperate ones. Right? So we are behind a cause of individuals and corporates, and I hope and pray that we could tag along together and move things forward. And today we do have the small panelist discussion as well, which is a small process of small thoughts. Yeah. And thank you so much for everyone coming in a short notice. I would have missed some of the names here as well. Mifaz, my dear friend, has been there from, I guess, assistant manager from Brandix, I guess, yeah, a long time back. Super character, if anybody wants to know all-round performance, super guy. So thank you so much. If I missed any of your names, please excuse. But definitely would like to network with all of you all with only one thing in mind, Sri Lanka. Thank you so much.